Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome back. So first off, before the video even starts, I want to thank THQ Nordic for actually giving me a review copy of Cosmic Shake, as well as you guys for actually watching my content and actually making me eligible enough to receive a review copy. So I just want to thank you guys and everyone at THQ Nordic who's made this possible, so thank you all so very much. So down below in the description I do have links for the game itself, so if you want to buy the game on any platform I'll have links down in the description. I've also linked THQ Nordic's social media pages, so you can go down and check them out and see what they're up to at the moment. And if you guys like my content and if you want to see more, you may as well just hit the subscribe button, and if you'd like, you can join my Discord server, which is also linked below. So with that being said, I just want to thank you all so very much, and let's dive right into it. So, the story starts with SpongeBob and Patrick going to Glove World for the day, which sounds like the start of a classic episode from the show, which is absolutely brilliant. And upon reaching Glove World, they come across a very mysterious looking carriage, and it has lots of junk scattered around it. Next, SpongeBob picks up a vial of mermaid tears, which is amongst some of the junk, and then that gathers the attention of the antagonist, Madame Cassandra, to approach him. In doing so, she inevitably convinces SpongeBob to take the vial of mermaid tears. And fast forwarding a little bit, SpongeBob begins using the mermaid tears, which up to this point he thinks are harmless. And when doing this, he makes bubble replicas of everyone in Bikini Bottom, which ends up proving fatal as it turns out these mermaid tears are in fact very lethal and ends up sucking everyone across the town into various portals which basically span over 7 distinct wish worlds. From the get-go, Madame Cassandra is clearly the antagonist, but to SpongeBob and Patrick, she is just trying to help. Very similar to how Plankton was the antagonist of Battle for Bikini Bottom, but SpongeBob was completely oblivious due to his kindness. Since that's what gets the story going, the first level we deal with is Wild West Jellyfish Fields, and if you know the level order of BFBB, then this game takes a lot of inspiration from that, and has a very similar, if not identical, level ordering. With this Wild West alteration of Jellyfish Fields, the new antagonist of this particular level is Mr. Krabs. So in a way, his role has been randomized, if you will. So it's like a mix-up of the previous games. So you've got the exact same characters, but the roles have been completely reversed. And to summarize this level up, basically Mr. Krabs, he tries to steal a load of cactus juice, and basically gets SpongeBob to help him in his efforts to steal all this cactus juice from the townspeople, which in the end, I'm probably sure you could have guessed. SpongeBob figures this out. They have this massive train chase scene which is basically a classic western movie. It's really good, and the actual end of this level really sums up the premise of this one particular level really well, ties it up in a nice neat bow, and that's just the first level. The first level itself was crafted so well, and I enjoyed it a lot more than the original BFB and Rehydrated Jellyfish Fields. You know, that might be a hot take, but I preferred this version to the original from BFBB. And not to mention that this level introduces you to all the movesets and everything, and actually utilising these moves against enemies in a real combat situation. It feels really good, and from watching the Gamescom demos as well as the IGN footage, the gameplay feels as good as it looks, and I'm really happy with it so far. The next level we have is Karate Downtown Bikini Bottom, and the premise of this level is that Squidward has been given the role of a blockbuster film producer, and SpongeBob actually becomes the star of his latest movie. For this level in particular, you are actually looking for a version of Sandy instead of Squidward, which took me by surprise on my first playthrough. So, while going through the level, you encounter many interesting situations, like taking part in a miniature boss fight as part of the filming, or riding a unicycle to catch up with the film's main bad guy, and learning a brand new karate kick move to traverse large spaces with no flaws.
But I guess I have to work with what I've got. Let's start with something simple. A karate kick! Karate kick it!
While filming for Squidward, you come to the finale of the film, and the final boss of this level has actually been Sandy all along. Upon fighting her, you transport her back to Bikini Bottom, and all the while, film producer Squidward wants you to make a trilogy based on SpongeBob's karate moves.
But that was actually fantastic! I can already see the sequel. Nay, the trilogy. Let's start shooting immediately! Light, camera, sound! From the top, people! And...
I just want to say that I also really like how this brand new karate kick move feels like something from a previous SpongeBob game while being completely brand new. So at the moment, the only attacks we have are the bubble wand, the bubble throw, the ground slam, and karate kick, which in my opinion, I think it's a perfect balance for sort of 2 levels in for a brand new SpongeBob game. I feel like 4 moves is a decent amount. It's nothing like giving the cruise bubble from BFEB like a level in, or something ridiculous like that. So kudos to Purple Lamp for not just shoehorning these brand new moves in. Overall, this new variation of Downtown, really like it, and it exceeded my expectations first time round. For the next level, we have Pirate Goo Lagoon, which straight away looks so much different than the Goo Lagoon from previous games and the series itself. In this level, the main premise is to find SpongeBob's pineapple, which has been stolen by Prawn, who in this game goes by Admiral Prawn, a pirate. Upon completing the first quick segment of this level, you are introduced to the Flying Dutchman, who reveals that Prawn has taken over his ships, and alongside that, SpongeBob's pineapple too.
Prepare to be scared with the haunting memory of me ghostly ghost.
This begins putting the pieces of this level's puzzle into place, and next off, you are told by the Flying Dutchman to find his socks.
And find all me socks! I still want them back.
And then once finding them, you have to hoist them on various ships to gain back control over Admiral Prawn. While you're doing this, you come across a large sandcastle, and on top of this sandcastle there is another Wish World variation of Mr. Krabs, and this time he orders you to find some treasure for him. At the end in return, he offers SpongeBob the chest.
Contents not included.
And after that little side quest, you get back to doing the Flying Dutchman's work, and then eventually take over Admiral Prawn's ship.
Fine, no clashing.
Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed Pirate Goo Lagoon, and it's been the same with the first 2 levels, so since I've enjoyed the first 3, let's see what it's like for the next 3. The level after this happens to be Halloween Rock Bottom, which we've already seen quite a bit of through the trailers, including the boss fight for this level being the first ever bit of gameplay we were actually shown for the game. So the story for this level is that Gary has been sucked through a portal to this particular Wish World, and when SpongeBob initially arrives, he believes that Gary has been kidnapped by a monster snail of some sort, but as the level goes on and you progress more, it becomes more and more evident that Gary is the actual monster snail, which is to SpongeBob's surprise, which is nothing unusual.
Gary is the monster snail!
Similar to how Pirate Goo Lagoon had a midway segment where you had to help a variant of Mr. Krabs, there is also a similar thing to that in this level, as you have to gather candy bars for Mrs. Puff to be able to enter a snail racing competition.
It's a snail race. You have to be a snail and fast. Go!
Quite a significant thing to mention is that how the game has been polished up since the initial gameplay reveal back in August 2022. Here's a direct comparison between the gameplay reveal trailer and footage recorded by myself.
Look at all those snails the monster kidnapped!
Look, it's Gary!
So how do we save Gary?
Gary is the monster snail!
Huh? They grow up so fast, don't they?
These massive amounts of candy bars must have given him a sugar rush.
Just from that, it really goes to show how much time and effort has been put into this game, even with polishing up cutscenes. The gameplay reveal trailer looked so bland in that scene, so I'm really glad that they took their time with this game, and really went to town with the minor details. Overall, I really enjoyed this level as well. I enjoyed the plot, I enjoyed everything about it, and from the get-go, seeing it in the initial reveal trailer, I knew it was going to be a good level anyways, and this level also just exceeded my expectations. So far you've really got to give your hats off to Purple Lamp, they've done such a great job. Up next we have a really good level, which is probably one of my favourites, Prehistoric Kelp Forest. This level also happens to be one of the first shown off in the first gameplay reveal trailer, so I had really high hopes as they were confident enough to show it off so early on. It starts off with a primitive version of Squidward being taken to a primitive version of Pearl as an offering of food or something.
Squidward, Banuga.
To cut a long story short, you learn a new move which allows you to roll on top of boulders, allowing you to traverse rivers of lava, and in return, you reach Pearl, fight her off, and rescue Squidward from being eaten.
Huh? Squawk trapped here with two morons? No!
Unga jokey.
The actual design of this level is really good, and to put it simply, I just really enjoy this level as a whole, but this particular level is probably in my top 3. The final level I'll be talking about in this review is Medieval Sulphur Fields. So first off, you slide down a rainbow slide in a medieval setting located in a sulphur field. We knew about this level way before the game's release, but actually playing this level makes me realise how bizarrely good this combination is. So this level starts off with encountering a medieval version of Pearl, who you're actually there to rescue. Unfortunately, after going down the slide and talking to Pearl, SpongeBob loses the magic bubble wand that he needs to get home.
No!
So the main quest of this level is to find the pieces of the bubble wand that broke off as it fell. Once that's all said and done and you've traversed the inner castle, you come to what looks like a royal dining room, and you have to fight off a witch who intends to disturb Pearl's slumber party. This level shocked me on how fun it was and how well it seemed to fit in, despite how random it is. However, I didn't really enjoy the inner castle segment, as it felt a bit boring and it just felt like it dragged on a little bit too long for my liking. And to be honest, that's my only issue with the level. So in this review, I won't be discussing the final level and the final boss fight, as I believe those should be left unspoiled to those who haven't played the game yet. Next off, I want to talk about the music of this game. So the music of this game is done by the same studio that did the soundtrack for Battle for Bikini Bottom and the movie game, Hacienda Post. There is a lot of variation with these soundtracks, and gotta be honest with you guys, my personal favourites have got to be Wild West Jellyfish Fields, the fighting variation of Rock Bottom when you're fighting Gary, as well as the main hub theme. A unique thing with this game is it offers dynamic music as well, so if you're in a level and you go from walking around to going into a boss fight, the pace of the music will pick up and you'll actually hear that change as well, and I really enjoy the fact that they've added dynamic music to this game. But very quickly I just want to play a small medley so you can hear the variation of soundtracks throughout the game from start to finish. And before I do that, I just want to say how amazing, how brilliant, how good this new soundtrack is, and I'm so excited for you guys as well as just everyone else to get to listen to this absolutely brilliant soundtrack. Right guys, I think that's it for this video. I've talked about the plot, I've not spoiled too much, And I've talked about the soundtrack, which is my favourite part of the game. So I just want to say thank you to THQ Nordic for providing a copy of this game plus the costume pack. So I've really got the full package with them. So thank you to the guys over at THQ Nordic. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.